Hello, Stitchers. It's Nicole. Well, welcome back to Stitching with Nicole, Flosstube episode 145. It is Sunday, May the 10th, 2026. Happy Mother's Day to any of you moms or like a mom out there, and big hugs to anyone that this day is hard for. I know that there is a multitude of reasons that this day can be triggering, so hopefully we can share a little bit of fun stitching here and I can keep you company while you are crafting, which is always my goal here on my channel. Before we get started, I do like to let you guys know that some of the links down in the description may be affiliate links, which means I do earn a small commission if you choose to shop through those links. Thank you guys so much for your support of my channel. I also have Buy Me a Coffee here on my channel, which is basically one of those things that is always appreciated, never expected, kind of like a tip jar, if you will, and it helps with the support of new equipment, of framing my pieces, and just bringing you these Flosstube episodes mostly weekly. I want to thank Doris for her support this last week. Thank you so, so much. So before we dive in, I do want to let you guys know that I am skipping next weekend. There will not be a Flosstube episode, so I don't want anybody to worry. The next weekend is the spring mingle at Lindy Stitches, and I am teaching on Sunday, and I want to partake in all of the activities from Friday night to obviously through Sunday for spring mingle. So I am not going to have a Flosstube episode, and that means that next week when I come back, I'll have 2 weeks worth of fun stitching and all of that kind of stuff to catch up with you guys about. All right, so this week, I do like to let you know what you can expect to see. I don't have any FFOs this week. I have lots of things finished stitching, lots of things needing FFO'd, but I decided instead of trying to rush something, which is never a great idea, I was going to skip FFOs this week and hopefully, let's cross our fingers that I have tons of things to share with you in 2 weeks when I come back. I do have some finishes. I have lots of stitching. I've kind of been bouncing around a lot. So we'll have some whips, some new starts. I'll talk about the tomato sal that I am hosting with Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher, where you can pick your favorite tomato charts through the month of May. We're calling it Tomato Sal. So just pick your favorite tomato charts, charts and stitch them through May. If you tag Jessica and myself and use this hashtag shown here, we would love to see what you've been stitching. So I'll share what I've been stitching. I'll also share in Naval Vision some stuff I've picked up. I do want to talk about a favorite product of mine. I do have some Enable Vision and I have a little bit of Get Organized with Nicole. I know I've shown the chart organization, but I actually cleaned up a lot of my charts and I bought some thicker binders. So I swapped a bunch of stuff out to the 3-inch binders instead of the 1.5. I think it was 1.5, maybe 2-inch binders. I swapped it out to the 3-inch binders from Amazon. I am going to customize the spines. I did not get that done this week, but that is on my list of things to do. So that's exciting. I do want to kind of give a last call for spring mingle as well. So we'll talk about a little spring mingle. And then I do have new products coming to my shop this week. I have a new Flosstube and Project card bundle. Super excited about this. Super excited that we were able with our supplier to get a lower price point so we can offer them at a lower price point to all of you guys. Patreon members will get to shop Wednesday the 13th. and then we will offer them to the public on Friday the 15th. So really, really excited about that, as well as we have restocked a lot of the silk ribbon. So if there's any ribbons that you've been wanting for finishing, definitely check that out as well. Okay, let's just go ahead and dive right in and talk about finishes. I'm going to talk about tomato stitching first here with my finishes, since that is what I have finished. I have a finish, well, almost. I realized as I was going to film this that I actually missed something on this. We'll talk about that. And then I do have a start finish. So I am stitching the designs from Keeper of the Pens. I also, with this, I showed you guys when I was talking about the tomato stitching, I was inspired to do by Christy Crosshatch Quilts, that I was going to stitch I Collect and Keeper of the Pens through May. These are my two main goals. I want to finish these and have these, cross these off my list. They've been on my list forever. Well, I finished I Collect, stitched that in 2 evenings. I had already stitched the ABC little pillow from Keeper of the Pens, and last week I showed you my start of the sewing bird. Well, I also stitched start and finished another design from here, so let's talk about that. So first up, we do have the sewing bird, and I added all of my beads on here, got it all ready to FFO, and realized I'm supposed to do some satin stitching, long stitches, I think, over these spools. I will do that really quickly, and then I do want to start FFOing these. I think I have 4 ready to FFO, and then 2 more I want to stitch from the book. So I will likely be just going ahead and doing these right now, and then as I finish the others, I will do those. I think I've picked a fabric for the back. I'm not 100% yet, so next week I will show a little of that. I'm stitching all of the Keeper of the Pens on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha with all of the called for floss. Beautiful, beautiful Brenda Gervais colors. Absolutely love these. I cannot wait to display these. One of you had left me a comment and said these stitch up super fast, and you are not kidding. They are really quick and easy stitches. Don't be intimidated by the amount of white in the spool here or this spool. This is the next one I'm going to start this week, which it has a lot of stitching. Let me find it in the book here so you can see the whole thing. So it is a lot of white stitching on this spool as well. I'm going to tell you my way of psyching myself out, if you will, when I'm stitching a lot of white, or in this case, eggshell. What I like to do is I try not to save it for last, number one. But I will stitch 1 or 2 strands of eggshell, and then I give myself a reward. So almost like you eat your vegetables, and I think that's what Carol Saltbox Stitcher says. I love that. And then I would come over and I would stitch something else. So for me, I had enough of this that I could kind of pop over here, do the wood of the spools. For some reason, stitching these little bits of eggshell wasn't near as painful as just all of this. And then after I ran out of my floss here, I would pop back over here and do 1 or 2 strands. Then I got to do the fun tomato and all of this. Pop over here, and before you know it, it is finished. So I always just kind of like to leave myself something else to stitch so that I just don't feel like I am stitching nonstop with the fill-in. And that kind of goes for any fill-in, not just a white or a cream color. That's kind of how I psych myself out for it. So I thought this was done. Again, I do need to do those like long satiny stitches over these smaller spools, but otherwise this one is finished and ready to go. I know I mentioned last week the bird wings are 2/2. Everything else is 1/2 on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. And then after I finish this one, I know I've already showed this that I stitched last summer. I did put in my long stitches and my beads, so this one is completely ready to be FFO'd now. I decided to and I what I decided to do, so I did not start going through the book in order, and then I thought, "I'm stitching all of these, just go through in order." So that's why we have the sewing bird. Then the next one in the book, I don't know if it was the next one, but the next one I hadn't finished was My Soul is Fed with needle and thread. I stitched it, added the beads. The strawberry is 1/1. I stitched this in 2.5 hours. Really, really quick for this one. So I have another one all done. I didn't iron it clearly, and I haven't cut it off of my fabric either. So I'll trim this one out, and then I want to finish these three, or these three, yes. And then of course I do have my I Collect, which I shared last week. I do need to add the buttons for this one, and I was going to do that before I filmed today as well, but I didn't get around to it. So all four of these, my goal is to have these FFO'd by next week, or pardon me, in 2 weeks when I come back to share with you. And that is my update for my tomato stitching. Absolutely loving seeing all of your tomato stitching, seeing all the charts you guys choose to stitch. I also, when I moved all of the things in my binders, I found a whole bunch of fun tomato charts that I have, and I have mine for the most part in the stitching. I have a stitching binder, like a stitching every day. But the stitching charts I kind of put together because I felt like they very much lent themselves towards your stitching room, your craft room, or whatever. And so I kind of like to group those together, and I'd like to go through those. We'll see how much time we have today. I might go through those here in a little bit just to share some ones on my radar, and I'll share anything that I might have going already. I know I have for sure one whip that is a tomato stitch that I would like to get to when I get these rounded up. Well, I have more than one because I did start with needle and thread last week, which I consider a tomato stitch, and I also have that for Market Mania. So it kind of serves both things, although I did not get a chance to work on it this week. Let's talk whip progress. I bounced around quite a lot. The first thing I worked on last Sunday evening was not even tomato stitching, Market Mania, not back to homeroom Sal, which I did start, so yippee. But I pulled out this chart. And I am working on the word play charts from With Thy Needle and Thread this year. And I did January. I showed you March last week. I skipped February because I never got to it. And I had a teeny tiny start on April. Somebody told me I should just skip to June so I could have it displayed. My goal is not necessarily to display them this year. It's just to kind of stitch them. So I am finishing up April, then I'm going to probably start May. If I don't get to it, I may skip that one as well and go straight to June. We shall see. But my goal is by the end of the year to have them all finished and be able to say I completed this series. I love, love, love the April word play chart from With Thy Needle and Thread. And the bunny in the wagon is this one, and January, I think, are my two favorites. I need to go double check and look through the rest of them. I really, really love Brenda Gervais' bunnies. I know I've talked about that before in the past. I think all I had previously was like the B and the E, maybe a part of the A for beans. Yeah. And then I had started a little bit of this, but I was missing corn husk. I had marked it off my list as a color that I had ordered. All of the colors are Gentle Arts for this series. I did not have it, and I've had it for quite some time, but I never got back to it. So last Sunday evening, I sat down and worked on my stitch for a couple hours, and I made a ton of progress. I was really happy with how much I got stitched here. I came over and finished all the corn husk, started the wagon to give me a nice baseline, and then I did my bunny. Finished the other daffodil, I think that's what that is there, and kind of started one of the wheels. We're going to start the wagon next. Our bunny is all done now, and at this point I'm going to do the little wagon, and really then it's mostly just words minus the cute little bee skep or beehive here and some additional flowers, maybe a couple little birds here and there. But I think it should go fairly quickly, and loving, loving, loving it. Look at that cute bunny face. Absolutely precious. I am stitching mine on 36 count treasure map by Color and Cotton. I'm keeping my fabrics consistent throughout the entire series. And I had bought plenty of this when Color and Cotton was doing a pre-order for some popular colors. I think they're still doing that. I don't know. I don't pay super good attention probably. But I did get plenty of the treasure map so that I could stitch all of mine on the same fabric. I just really liked how it looked. Treasure map is one of my very favorites. And again, this is all of the colors. I think this was February, March, and April. And I need to look at May and June, kind of look ahead and see if there's any of the colors I need to pull from either stash or I need to get ordered to have for those months. But loving this. I thought I made super good progress on it. I would love to be able to have crossed this one off my list before the next time I come to you here in 2 weeks. Next, I started my next Market Mania. So my first start for Market Mania was with Needle and Thread by Brenda Gervais. I did that last week. This week I started The Pledge of Allegiance by Plum Street Samplers, another market release. And this is also part of the Back to Homeroom sale by Tara Sully Stitches and Christy from Floss Boss and Cousins. And they are heading up a sale for this. So I made out my little project card. I think I actually started before Friday, it looks like. But this was my second week of May start, if you will. And, oh, I forgot to put Christy's name on here. Whoops. I left it, and I see that I must have stopped mid-thought. Anyway, I like to kind of keep a little guide. Now, I actually have stitched the same portion of this twice because I was trying to find a different color. And if you watch Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher, she was talking about this. Lots of people have started this on a neutral fabric, which is the direction I thought I was going to go. And then I was cleaning up a bunch of fabric and putting things away, and I thought this would be really pretty. Well, I was looking at it at night, and in the daylight, it's a little too gray for me. And so I had started up here in the top left corner, and I was like, this just isn't going to do it. I started it, and I was like, I'm not going to like this. I can already tell I'm not going to like this, which is kind of a bummer. But that's okay, because I didn't have that much stitched. So what I ended up doing was I went to my collection, and there were 2 fabrics that I had in my stash. One was Aruba Soft, I think. That's the name of it, from Color and Cotton, and it's almost the exact same color as Silver Fox from Fiber on a Whim. And I know this is looking, it does look silvery on camera. In real life, let me see if I can hold it up. It's definitely got more of an aqua tint. See, I think on here you can see it. My down camera has a lot more light shining on it. It's got a little bit more of an aqua, it has a little more of an aqua tint to it. So I think I will like that better. And I decided to use this. I think this might be the same color Jessica's using. I cannot remember, but I went back and forth, and ultimately I decided I wanted to do kind of more like the model instead of going neutral. So that is what I'm doing. I'm stitching on 36 count silver fox by fiber on a whim, one strand over two. And see, it's blown out so much here, even on the down camera, it doesn't look like you can see the white as well, but I think it's very easy to read. Well, maybe not. But in real life, I find it very easy to read. So I am loving it. I wish I hadn't had to do a restart, but again, it's better to restart right away than wait too long and, you know, then then it's a lot harder to restart. So that is my Market Mania as well as back to homeroom Sal start. Super excited about that. So another new start this week. Next, I'm going to talk about my progress on One Nation by Bygone Stitches. And I'm going to hold it up first and then I'll do a close-up. I have challenged myself to be accountable and work on this every single week. And I was able to do my self-imposed assignment, which was to finish filling in the white box around this band of the flag and to finish the blue part, the blacksmith, isn't it blacksmith blue? Yes, from Classic Color Works for over here. So kind of the little diamond almost, if you will. I thought I might be able to get all of the white flowers in, and I started one of them and I was like, "Nah." I moved on and did some of my Christmas whip go instead. Let's look at this. So this stitch is kind of my big patriotic stitch for the year. I know I'm working on other things like Pledge of Allegiance and all of that, but this is a design I've talked about many times that I saw first at the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I just love it. The model is stitched on 28 count Ale by Picture This Plus. I'm stitching on 36 count Ale by Picture This Plus with the called for colors. And I have wanted a big framed flag piece in my house, and this is going to be that piece. So this is kind of one of those focus pieces, I suppose we want to call them, that I want to have done by the end of the year. It's not necessarily a 250 stitch or anything like that. I don't have a set deadline, but I really want to just make sure I'm intentionally working on this constantly. That being said, my goal then for 2 weeks is I would like to have the next red band done or red stripe done and start on the white. I'd love to have another red and white done. And I want to make sure that I bring all of my white stars completely over. I did fill in the little blue here in this one that was already done. And then bring this down for another row. That is my goal for 2 weeks. Another red band, another white band, and then to fill in the rest of these and have at least the outline brought over here on my flag. I had a lot of times I love an outline, but for this, I'm really trying to be super careful that I don't miscount. I have miscounted so in a couple of places and I've caught it. That being said, just kind of working my way down is kind of a safety measure for me as well. Last week, I had finished stitching Massachusetts, but I had a little white left here, and then I had the rest of this. This surprisingly is not fun to stitch. The long just stitch, 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 but it is really pretty when it's done. So I was glad to get that done. It was just a lot of repetitive white stitching, but I got that all brought across. I brought this blue down a little ways. So all of this I brought down. And then of course I filled out the rest of this and I started on my stars. Pretty good progress. I am happy. I'm going to take it. I like intentionally remembering to work on it because I want to show it each floss tube until it's finished. I think Sean the Periwinkle Stitcher does that with a couple of her stitches, and I always love that because you just get to see what she gets done on her big samplers she's working on. So that's one of the things I really love, and that's how I am tackling this stitch. It is not hard to stitch. Um, a lot of it for me is just the repetitiveness. So if I break it into smaller little chunks, it makes it a lot more enjoyable for me. And then I can, flip flop back to something else as I want to and to entertain myself, I suppose. So it's wanting to roll up really bad. I do get asked a lot. I didn't iron it all the way. I ironed the part I stitched. I stitch in hand. So let me show you guys because I'll roll it back up to where I'm working. I roll it up so it's out of my way for stitching. So I'll roll up. For example, I'm going to finish those white stars first. So I roll up and I just use a little clip. And if I'm working not clear on one side or the other, I will roll up the other side. I'll probably clip it down here because I like to hold right here and I don't like the clip to be in my way. So I can hold it like this and stitch. That's exactly how I stitch, just like this. And I'm going to work on this tonight, so I will leave the clips in it. Well, maybe I won't. Anyhow, I should take a photo of it first. But that is how I work on my pieces. Even if they're small, I'll show you another one here as well. All right. I am making a effort to do better with my Christmas whip go. You may remember last week I talked about how I don't want to start anything. I just want to I want to stitch on pure whips. So I decided one of the whip go pulls for this month would have been a new start. I'm not doing that. I'm doing double duty on this one, and it's my board, my rules. A lot of you said that in the comments. Absolutely. My board, my rules, do what I want. As long as I'm stitching and making progress, I'm super happy, and I'm so glad I decided to do that. So I wanted to show you, even on a small piece, I roll it up because I'm working over here and clip it out of the way to stitch. I may not even iron this one right now. So I needed a little something different to work on after working on One Nation, and this is one of my whip go pulls. I started this 2 years ago. I know, pitiful for a 2-year whip. This is the Mary Mary Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. The model was stitched on 36 count Patriots Brew by R&R. I'm stitching on 40 count Patriots Brew by R&R with a slight color conversion. I did do some overdyes for mine in addition to the called for DMCs. And I will list those when I start posting this on Instagram and stuff. I'll start listing those as long as I like them. But so far, so good. Now, I started, I believe, in the middle. I must have done a middle start for this. And I had most of the first word Mary stitched, except for like this leg over here. So I finished that. I had like all of this part stitched. I finished that and I thought, yes, I could go and do this entire border and do the other word, but it's not inspiring. And in order for me, I find if I can stitch something I like, it inspires me, or if I get a motif in that I like, it inspires me to then really work on it, even on the parts that might not be as quote unquote fun to stitch. And even though I love this band of this design. So what I decided to do was after I finished this, I came up here and I stitched enough of this border for the box that I could start on the next little like grounding area that's for the house and the reindeer. And I went ahead and stitched my entire reindeer here in the left side. And once I got to this, I don't really want to put this down. I am really enjoying it. I knew that would be the case. I needed to get enough of it in that I would want to work on it. So I'm excited that I'm going to share this throughout the rest of the month as well in each video. So One Nation and this, I am just going to share every video. That way I am working on it a little more consistently, especially since I chose to only work on one of my Whip Go polls for May. And we'll see how far I get before the end of the month. My goal, my goal, it might be lofty and I won't be sad if I don't meet it, but my goal is to have the entire top half. I think the chart is split into the top half on one page and the bottom on the other. And so I would love to get the whole first page stitched. And I mean, if I could, yeah, to get on down here to the bottom part, but that's the house is in the top part, and that's a lot of stitching. That's a lot of little stitchies there. But I love that little red house. I love the little reindeer. And I mean, I'm ready to do the little house basically. And this border up here, it's kind of hard to see in this photo. It is so pretty. So pretty. So I'm really excited about my progress on this one. Feeling really good about Whip Go. I actually redid my whole Whip Go board, and I do want to talk about that really quick before we move on. After last week's Flosstube, I took a hard look at my Whip Go board. I mentioned last week that I am just really bummed that I picked so many new starts for Whip Go. My original Whip Go board is this one right here, and I had crossed this one out already. I have moved some things around. So what I ended up doing is I went in and I edited my Whip Go board and I added in the text. So anything that was already pulled, that's already been pulled here this year, I've highlighted. That way I know that those have all been pulled, right? And we've already worked on those. Then from there, I ended up taking out, I think, let me make sure. I left in 3 new starts because they're all smalls. So when those get pulled, I'm actually okay. Not only are they new starts, but they're fully kitted. A lot of the problem with some of these is I never fully kitted them, and so it was really hard for me to get motivated to start those. Then I swapped out and I put asterisks by any of them that I would like to touch again. So for example, Plum Street, A Merry Gentleman had already been called. Here, no, I lie. No, it's right here. Haha. Sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing. So I had to pull some things out of this that I talked about last week. I put it in again. I would like to touch it again. So I put it in again. I just changed up the rules on my board a little bit. I haven't been, or the Sampler's Not Forgotten Home for Christmas that I started last December hasn't been called yet, but I would really like to get 2 months worth of stitching on it. So I put it in another spot. Sweet Moon had already been called. I have the smallest start on it. And so I actually pulled that in again so that I can touch it again. The Bells on Christmas Day has not been called that I started last December, but I know when it gets called, because it's already a whip, I'd like to touch it again. So I put it in a second time. Shakespeare's Peddler Season's Greetings also hasn't been called. I started that last December. I would like to touch that one twice, so I put that one in twice for there. And I think that is it for the twice. Anyway, that was kind of how I looked at my board and how I rearranged it. Yes. And, you know, obviously it's my board, my rules. I can make changes if I need to again. But I decided instead of having so many, I just wanted to be able to work on some of these other ones. We will do a full recap at the end of June, but I went ahead and made this adjustment now because I was so disgusted with myself because I kept getting all of these new starts pulled and I didn't want to work on them. The whips, however, I really love picking up and working on. And so I've learned a little something, and there's nothing wrong with learning a little something along the way. I definitely could see doing this again. I like this. I like touching these. I have a lot of Christmas whips. This is really nice to be able to touch them throughout the year. So until further notice, this is how I'm going to be doing my whip go. It's not a very big change at all. But hey, it's a little change, and so I wanted to mention that in case you start seeing some things that you've already seen. But for me, this works really well. I could see maybe picking even fewer next year, like, I don't know, maybe just pick 12 and then make them all throughout and just have some alternates chosen. So if I finish something, I could always pull in an alternate. We'll see. But I really, really am enjoying this. I'm glad I changed it. I'm feeling way better about my Whipco board now because I know that when they get called, they're either already started or fully kitted. And so I don't have to think about it very hard to get that going. At least I have made that adjustment. The Spring Mingle at Lindy Stitches takes place this coming weekend, May 15th through the 17th. My class is Sunday, the 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. Central Time. So if you are joining the Spring Mingle, I am so super excited. I also will be partaking in a fun, oh, what's the name of it? Of course, I can't remember. But I will be joining Kathy of Hands On Design, and you guys can come and chat with us for an hour. And if you need ideas for finishing, hopefully we'll be able to provide some ideas for you guys. So really, really excited about that. It'll be a lot of fun. I am teaching the NEEDLEBUG Needle Book. This is a beginner-friendly wool applique class. That doesn't mean it's a beginner project necessarily, but my class is geared towards if you've never done wool applique. I love the antennae. My class is geared if you've never done wool applique before, that it is a good introductory type of project. But also, I hope it's still cute enough that if you are very familiar with wool applique, you would want to participate. Now, the class has no homework or pre-stitch required. There is a handful of kits left at Lindy Stitches. There is still time to grab your kit. I don't know if it would arrive by class. It might if you get on it and get it ordered right now by your class, by your kit, but you do get 30 days to watch the video at Lindy Stitches. In addition, I have a full PDF for the class for those who purchase the class, and you can follow along. It's like a picture tutorial. So either way or both to help you put together your needle book. I will be showing you step by step how to put together the needle book during class. It is only 2 hours, and you guys, it's gonna take a little longer than 2 hours to put this together. That means that I will show all of the steps. We're gonna talk through everything. I'm going to demo everything, but it does mean that some of it will be done off camera. That means that I will show it to you, but I may, like, apply the fusible to the felt, show you how to trace it, fuse it, all that, and then I will cut one of the shapes or two of the shapes out, I don't know, however many, and then I will pull in all of the shapes already done. That is just simply to make the class go by and that it's not super repetitive, um, and so that we can get everything filled in. The other thing, I know I've mentioned this before in my video, for example, there's 2 wings. They are done exactly the same. That means what I'm going to do is I will completely assemble one during class, but I will pull in the other one all the way finished. You will get 30 days to go back and watch the video. You can pause it, you can rewind, all of that good stuff. And again, you'll have that PDF handout that will hopefully help you out. Now, the needle book opens up. We are going to have like this little inside piece where you can stick your needles and all of that good stuff. And then we are sewing a pocket over here as well that you can fit little embroidery snips in. These are about 4 inches tall. So that's about the height that your little scissors will fit in here. And then you can tuck other things in to the other sides. Oops, I was going to do it in this. Oh, let's just flip the camera. Flip them in to the other side. Just like so. So the cutest little needle book, perfect to tuck into your stitch box. I'm going to show you that here in my stitch box here in just a second. Now, I do want to mention for anyone who has signed up for the class today, Sunday, May the 10th, we sent out to everyone who is registered for the class. If you don't get the email, please email this email address here or the email that is listed down below. Please make note, it is a different email than I've been using. This is my support email. This is Brendan and myself. But if you want a quicker answer, this is the way to do it. And he will be happy to help you if you don't get this. But we send out the templates because you do need to be able to print these so you can trace them for class. Those were sent out today for those who are taking the class. And then the full instruction is going out Thursday evening, the night before the spring mingle starts. We do that for a reason because this class is not a pre-stitch class. And so we wait to send that out until class time. I was going to just have it available at class time, but I decided to go ahead and send that out the evening before spring mingle starts. That way, if you want to print it, you can, but you can have it up or have it up on your computer. But both of the links for all of this will also be available during spring mingle as well. So if you need to grab them, then you can. Okay, so the templates will be there so you can grab those and get those printed and be ready for class. Really, really excited for this. I cannot wait. Thank you guys so much for your excitement for this class. It's going to be a ton of fun. I cannot wait for this weekend and all of the fun stitching we are going to get to do all weekend long. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to share with you is happy accident. I was perusing Fat Quarter Shop for something, and I noticed, let me take this out really quick. I noticed that they had these Winterberry cases available at Fat Quarter Shop. They have the travel case, the little mini case, and then the bigger train case. I have 2 of them. I'm going to show them here, but these are were Rika King's exclusive, House of Stitch and Stash. She designed this beautiful pattern. You guys, it's literally my favorite case ever. Oops, mine is not zipped shut, obviously. And I have this next to my stitchy spot all the time. This is my absolute favorite case. I love, love, love the color blue. So excited about this. If you are looking for an amazing case, you can grab these at Fat Quarter Shop. I've put a link for you guys down below, but I'm going to show that to you. Oh, this is my favorite magnetic wand. I use it for everything. I'll link that for you guys down below as well too, because I use it to pick up anything and I just kind of keep it tucked in here. But what I wanted to show was I have my case even for tomato stitching. I love it for that. So I've got my Ladybug needle book in here. I also have this wonderful little tomato. I got one from Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher, but I also got one in a fig tree box last year. So I have a couple of these. I love it. And then I had a wonderful, I got this, I believe, at a retreat. I wish I could remember who gave this to me, the scissor fob, but it's a tomato. I love this. So I have this on my embroidery snips here in my box. Love, love, love this box so much. And I just wanted to let you guys know that it is available at Fat Quarter Shop. Anyway, I did want to share that in case anybody else was interested in a beautiful stitchy box. I love having this right next to my chair, and again, it's my favorite pattern. I love, love, love this blue. It's usually sitting up just like this. And I have like little needle minders. I have extra project cards, needles. This tray lifts out, so I have other stuff down here. I keep some extra floss drops. I have a nail file because I always get jaggedy nails, a pen for writing on floss drops, a punch in case the floss drops I get at a retreat don't have a punch in them. Here's the safety thing for my scissors that is never on there. But anyway, this is the beautiful Winterberry case. And I thought I would share that with you guys because I love it so, so much. While we're on the topic of Enable Vision, so here is the other little case that I purchased, and you can get this one as well. And I have not used this one yet. It's perfect. Like if you were traveling on a plane, I don't take the bigger case. This one would be perfect. But right now it houses some 103s because I tried my hardest to talk myself out of not needing this chart that I saw Christy of Crosshatch Quilts stitching. I think she might be done with it. But this chart from the Scarlet House, Try to Mark Well, I decided I had to have for tomato stitching. And I love this. It is charted in 103s, so I purchased the chart and the 103s from 123 Stitch. You can see if this called for more, that they would all line up right in here, but it's the perfect size to tuck in your scissors and all of that good stuff. But I just love that they are safely tucked away in this Winterberry case. I love, love, love it. Have I said that I love it? I so love this. They are absolutely gorgeous. So in addition to that, I felt like this was meant to be. The model was stitched on 40 count dirty teacup from Needle and Flax. And what do you guys know? I have 40 count dirty teacup by Needle and Flax in my stash. So let me actually flip this around. I think this is going to be so pretty. I think it's a little easier to see this way, but look at the colors on this. How gorgeous is this going to be? The only thing I want to say is I think I may rechart it for maybe my name. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll stitch it just like this, but I just love this. I think this is such a cute, fun design, and I really did try to talk myself out of it multiple times. And ultimately, guess what? I went back and bought it. So there's that. But that is Try to Mark Well by the Scarlet House. I will link that for you guys down below. And I will link these beautiful Winterberry cases as well. Other things in Enable Vision this week. I'm part of the Button Lovers Club at Just Another Button Company, and the Patriotic buttons came, which are absolutely gorgeous. Look at all of these fun buttons, you guys. So much fun. I love collecting these. They're just amazing, amazing buttons. And they have really fun projects for you. Obviously, you can do whatever you want with them as well, but it is inspiring to look at the projects that they share here. There's some tips on how to stitch them on. A really nice job. I love that the Button Lovers Club comes with this little sheet, and that is really fun, and I will put a link to Just Another Button Company down below. Okay, part of the reason I ended up with a Try to Mark Well from the Scarlet House is because I tried to not buy this at market and decided I needed to have it. It's super pretty, and I think I will probably stitch this more than once because I have an idea to make this as a gift as well, even though this comes fully kitted. I have multiple of these Samplers Not Forgotten kits, but I really loved the beauty of this little pillow and how you customize it with your initial. It's the Initial Pin Keep kit called Roses and Scrolls. It does come fully kitted. I don't know that I'll stitch on what it's kitted. I probably am going to change it. I'm probably going to change the background fabric as well, but I really wanted this. I think it's such a pretty design. So I went ahead and picked up this kit. And then of course, those other things fell into my cart because why would they not? Okay. I think you guys, other than I bought some floss. I got some floss. My floss fix club from Fat Quarter Shop came, but I already put that on my floss wall. And yeah, I think that's it for Enable Vision this week. Next, I do want to talk about, I have new product coming. This is not fully kitted. There's a sticker that goes on it, but in order to show it to you guys, we didn't put the sticker on. I'm showing you it's not the prototype even, it's just my set. But I have new project cards and floss drops, and I'm going to show them to you. Patreon members, you get to purchase first on Wednesday the 13th, the public on Friday the 15th, Wednesday the 13th for Patreon, Friday the 15th for everybody else. And we like to offer project cards and floss drops. The Christmas ones, the Santa ones I did last December that I never was able to offer to the public because I did such a limited run of those, and Patreon sold those out. They are coming June 1st. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. We were able to get those at a little lower price point, so they will be offered for a little bit less. It will be sets of 5 project cards like in the past, but 20 floss drops. And you're going to get 2 of each style, and there's 10 different styles of Santas instead of the 2 different styles I had before with 10 floss drops. And that is going to be true for these as well. So this is called Vintage Notions. I believe that's what we're calling this. And I'm going to show you the cards because I absolutely love them, and I think they are perfect for tomato stitching as well. So the first thing I'm going to share is the project cards. There are 5 of these in the pack, and they all feature just these wonderful vintage Notion images, and then all of the same information that's always on the back of my project cards are on this. So the 5 styles, let me see if I can get them all on the camera here. There's the second one. Love that pin cushion. We'll just put these on top of here. And then we've got spools and buttons. And then we, of course, have more pin cushions, shears, all of the good things here. Really, really fun. All of them, again, have the information on the back. So a set of 5 of these. They are 4x6. And then we have our floss drops, and there's 10 different styles in here, and I'm going to show you all of them. Some of them will be the same as the project cards and some won't. So for example, there's 2 of each style. So we have our sewing machine. They are already all pre-punched for you. This one, obviously the same as one of the project cards. Another super fun pin cushion. The thimble pin cushion again. This one, like measuring tape, buttons and spools. Another vintage pin cushion. Can you tell I was obsessed with the pin cushions? The vintage Notions, and then our vintage spool. So these are the styles that come. You get, again, 20 floss drops, 5 project cards, and these will be available this week. We do have a lot, so we can offer them not only to Patreon as a perk for being a Patreon member, you get first dibs, plus there's uh, every month we have a free shipping coupon for you guys as well. But also, I wanted to make sure that there would be plenty for everybody. And these again will be available, and I will talk more about the Santa ones when Santa is ready to go. We're just kind of splitting them up so we don't have all of them all at once. Don't forget, we do have some 1/4-inch silk ribbon in the shop. Lots of beautiful colors. The red, white, and blue have been going, those have been selling really, really well. I know 'tis the season for red, white, and blue. Plus, I shared them on my America Berry finish. And I feel like something else, but it's eluding me at the moment. I also think a little bow tacked right here on our ladybug would be adorable. I might show that like next week after the class is over. We didn't include that as part of the class. Also, I forgot to mention, none of the things inside the needle book are included. We're making the pocket, we're making the little place for the needles, but the pen, the scissors, the unpicker, the end weaver, and the just another button company ladybug pen, those aren't included. You get the wool, you get the fusible, you get the floss, you get the antennae in the kit for the class. And again, there's just a handful of those left, so grab those. Let's chat about tomato charts that are in my stitching binder and kind of see like maybe what's on my agenda. Plus, I will share any whipped tomato stitching whips I have too. So we're going to go through the binder first. And this is one of the binders I switched out. This is one of the bigger 3-inch binders. And there's some cute little tomatoes in this chart from Shakespeare's Peddler. This is called Hope. I believe this was a last year market release. I loved this one. Some of these may not be stitching related. Okay, Needle and Thread from With Thy Needle and Thread. There's a little teeny tiny tomato on her big hips here. I love their spools on one side and the tomato on the other. This is one that I would love to work on. This is a Stitcher's Heart by Hands On Design. There are some tomatoes in the other designs, but I love, and I want to stitch everything from here, but I love this tomato here. So stinking cool. Enjoy the Stitch from Hands On Design is also on my radar. I was telling a friend, I think I may change some of the colors in this. So we shall see, but I love, love, love this one. I have always loved a Vintage Stitch to Hexie from Hands On Design as well. Really, really cute little motifs. Super fun. That's another one that I would love to do. A Stitcher's Alphabet from the Scarlet House. I loved this one. I have some October House Fiber Arts. I don't think that one has any tomatoes on it. This one does, though. The Sewing Sundries. Tomato Row. This one from Heartstring Samplery, Festive Little Fob Stitching Edition. I love the little berry with the tomato, pardon. This was Love to Stitch from Primrose Cottage. Cute little tomato pincushion on that one with bees. And I think that is all I have that has tomatoes on it. Let me double check. Yes. Okay, so then I just kind of have some other random stuff in here too. That's kind of what I have as far as in my album. Now, that does not account for any any bigger pieces. These were a lot of like little stitch pieces that are in my collection. That's why they're in the stitch section, but there are other charts that have tomatoes in them. I didn't look hard, I should say, through any of the other albums. I was mostly concentrating on all these little smalls in here. Let me see what I have in my whips to talk about next. Okay, couple of things. I have pulled this out and I have this prepped but not finished. This is the ABC My Pins and Me. This isn't actually a stitch. I think Jessica showed this as well. It's the alphabet fabric and you make it into a tomato. I'm going to do this before my next video as well and share this. This is from With Thy Needle and Thread. Love this. So I had pulled that one out to work on. And then I cannot believe that I haven't FFO'd this. And it's because I left it in this big piece of fabric. But I had done the Stitching Quaker from Primrose Cottage last year. It's complete. This needs to be FFO'd. Here, this is a great stitching chart as well. But and I left it in my whips, even though I've not started any of the others. I have the Stitching Quilt, which I love. And I want to do Stitching Rules. Now I'm stitching these with the called for color and cotton colors. And I'm stitching on 46 count Dove by Color and Cotton. So it's teeny tiny. And I'm doing all of them on this 46 count. I absolutely love it. But what I'm going to do is I am going to probably cut off this top part and do the little stitching quilt over here. And then I'll do the rules down one side over there. Because I would love to do the rules for my craft room or out in the other room on the shelves I'm going to put up there. But guys, look how pretty this is. Here, I'm going to flip this. I totally forgot that I had finished stitching this and it's just been sitting here in this bag. So I definitely need to get that one off of this cut of fabric and get that FFO'd ASAP. Then the other thing that has been a whip, restart, all the things for a while is the Mend Block Party from Hands On Design. And I had started it on a different color, on the blue 28 count, and I just did not love it. And I actually started stitching this. This is a old Weeks, I'm sure. I think this is, it's not the good Weeks. It's the old base that everybody talks about, I'm sure, because I don't see that little red line telling me that it's the good stuff. But I got this at my LNS before they closed, so that's been 100 years ago. This is 35 count blush by Weeks, and I love it. It does mean that my block party is going to be a little smaller, but I am just stitching along here, and I really should pull this out and get some stitches in it. So I'm going to keep this one out as well. How far am I? Not as far as I think. I know that. Not as far as I think. So you stitch. There are 4 tomatoes total. So I have one fully done. I have the second one started. And then there's 2 more. So I'm not even halfway yet. Then you also have to stitch the top part of it, which is like all these little buttons here. That's not that hard. And then put it together. But I really do need to get this one done. I should get my pins ordered and I should get it stitched. But look how pretty it is on the pink. These are all the called for colors, but instead of on the light blue, I'm doing it on this soft pink, and I love how these colors look on here. So pretty. So this is another really great tomato option. All right, so giveaways this week. I have winners from Flosstube 143. The winner of the Vintage Feathers start of that stitch, you have to have the chart and the floss and stuff, I'm not giving all of it, is Patty O'Malley. If this is your comment, please email this email address with what you won and your physical mailing address, and we will get that out in the mail to you ASAP. The winner of the tomato chart from Needle and Moss from Flosstube 143 is Marcy Farrell. Congratulations, Marcy. If this is your comment here on the screen, please email me at the email address shown here with what you won and your physical mailing address, and we will get your chart out in the mail to you. Okay, this week, in honor of Tomato May, I thought it would be fun to share a chart with you. I have done a little bit of purging and cleaning of my stash, and I have a fully kitted collection that is tomato themed. This was part of a little help from our friends Stitching Circle at the Silver Needle. I had picked up, they had extra kits of this, and I am deciding to share this with one of you. This is called Odds and Ends by October House Fiber Arts. Obviously it has tomatoes, spool, strawberry, all the good stuff. Fully kitted in here with the instructions, floss, embellishments, all of the good things. You're going to get this full kit. Please use the word stitching somewhere in your comment and leave your comment by the date shown here on the screen for a chance to win this. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another Flosstube episode. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. We're going to be mingling it up next weekend. So remember, I won't be here next Sunday. I'm going to take the week off, but not really, because I'll be all over the spring mingle, and I hope to chat with a bunch of you. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody. Odin is chasing Frank around the house. That's fantastic. And now they're running around the basement. I don't understand why they do this every time I start talking to the computer screen. It's kind of cute, really. I wish I could show you guys. I wish I could flip this and show you. Stitch Mania. Market Mania. Why is that so hard for me?